I am making a few little hatches
Ooh,
for what we're going to be doing later.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Did you want to
What
hear
are
the
you
end of my
doing?
joke?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay. So, I don't know if you guys tuned in. But
It was on our Instagram stories and our
Facebook?
Facebook stories.
Yeah, yeah. How do astronauts get their babies to sleep?
I don't know.
They rocket it. Get it?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, because it's Space Week this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a surprise, maybe. Oh,
Hi,
hi to
Nina.
Nina on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.
What are you doing there?
Well, I'm going to prep some windows.
Oh, okay. Hi to Kate and Amy on Insta as well. Hello.
Hello. What are you doing?
I'm making non-portholes. They're just called windows on a rocket ship.
What are portholes on, Jess?
Are they boats?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're on boats. I don't think we're making boats today.
No.
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 I've got lots of pink bits, so I think I'm going to move on.
Okay. Hi, PlayUppers. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back to On Air PlayUp. We bet you had a lot of fun last week making medals with Tyler and Rose for the International Day of Sport for Development and Peace.
I followed along at home, and Naomi, I actually made you a medal for your fantastic dancing. Here you go.
Thank you so much. Look at this. I made you one too. Of course I did, yeah. Because I know you are great at tennis.
I totally am great at tennis. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And remember, if you missed last week's craft, you can tune in and re-watch the video. It's on Facebook, and now we have our videos on our website. They're extra special, so please go check them out. And there's other resources there too with loads and loads of fun ideas of other things to do.
Yeah, don't forget our website is moadoph.gov.au/families.
Oh, Gracie says hi on Facebook. Hi, Gracie.
Hello. Now we've got some photos from last week's medals, don't we, Naomi?
We do.
I've got a lovely one sent in here of a little girl following along at home doing her craft with Tyler and Rose. Thanks for making a beautiful medal. It's fantastic cutting there.
Oh, look at that. I have one too. And look at this. This is Blaze wearing their medal. Look. That is very, very cool. So well done.
I think Tyler should take some lessons from him.
I think
Fits
so.
over the head really well. And you know what? We're going to be going on an adventure soon through Moad as well. And we still want to hear from your suggestions of where you'd like to go. Maybe you're missing a certain room like the Kindness Cafe or anywhere else in our museum. So write in and let us know where you'd like to go on our adventure.
I think we're going on one really soon, Jess.
We are.
I'm excited.
It is a bit sad that Moad is closed, but it's pretty awesome that we can bring PlayUp to you on air at home.
Yeah, it really is. And if you haven't been to PlayUp before, it is a children's exhibition here at Moad. It's really fun, it's interactive, and we learn about children's rights.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some craft today, but first we're going to acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples of Australia. So everybody get their hands ready, and together we'll touch the ground that covers the land.
We reach for the sky that covers the land.
And we touch our hearts that care for the land.
Brilliant. While we've got our hands busy, we need to wash them. Now we have some magic soap here ready to go.
Now, if you are washing your hands at home, you might use soap and water, and you need to do it for 20 seconds.
Yes.
So how do we remember?
Well, Tyler and Rose introduced our washing hands song last week. Are you ready, Naomi?
I'm ready. If you're crafting and you know it, wash your hands, scrub, scrub.
If
You're crafting and you know it, wash your hands, splish, splash.
If you're
Crafting and you know it, and you really ought to show it. If you're crafting and you know it, wash your hands. Okay, I think we're ready.
Thank goodness. Right.
All right. So this week we are celebrating the International Day of Human Spaceflight.
That's where we get to celebrate the fact that we sent humans into space. What an achievement.
Whew.
And all the benefits of space technology here on Earth.
There are so many benefits of space exploration, and we're going to talk about some. And I bet you, our PlayUppers, know some pretty cool things about space.
Yeah, we'd love to know what you know about space. So write in on Instagram or Facebook and let us know.
Awesome. Now, I know something about space. So, 59 years ago, this week, the first person ever went to space.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. His name was Yuri Gagarin.
Yeah.
And he was from Russia. And how do you think he got there, Jess?
Did he get in a rocket, Mary?
He did get in a rocket. Check these rockets out.
Whoa. These are very fancy rockets, Naomi.
They are. Look, mine has lots of blasters.
You do, and I've got a space shuttle here ready to take our astronauts somewhere special.
Yeah. Now, we're going to make rockets today. I think they're going to be a little bit simpler to this, though.
Yeah, I don't think this, I could not do this type of rocket, to be honest.
I think you could. I think you could. Now, you can make a rocket however you like, and maybe you can add all sorts of bits. But first, you can follow along and learn how to make a basic rocket.
Yeah. Anna, our producer, is asking us if we can moonwalk.
Ooh, I think so. Ooh. What do you reckon?
Like Michael Jackson or just like pretend?
Ooh, like Michael Jackson. That would be fun.
All right, what do we need to make our rockets, Naomi?
Okay, well, you could use some cardboard rolls or some cardboard or big pieces of paper. That's what I'm going to use.
Yep. We're just going to need some paper for decorating as well.
And you're going to need maybe some crayons or pencils or textures to do some decorating and colouring.
We are going to need some scissors today to do some cutting. Now, scissors can be sharp, so make sure you ask an adult or an older brother or sister to help you along.
And we're going to do lots of sticking. So some sticky tape is going to be really, really handy today. And you can also use some glue.
Yep. Oh, and then other things to decorating whatever you have around the house.
Yep.
All right. We should get started. I'm going to use cardboard tubes to make the body of my rocket. I'm going to use 3 today because I've been busy. And I'm going to stick them together with some sticky tape.
Yep.
Just wrap them round and round and round to make them nice and secure.
All right.
How are you going to do yours?
So while you stick your rolls together, I'm going to make mine out of paper in case you don't have enough rolls at home. So I'm just going to roll my paper up, roll, 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 until I get a good shape. Oops.
Is that a good shape?
No. There we go. I want it like a cylinder. So I'm going to tape it together.
Excellent.
Maybe a bit of glue as well to make it really strong. So I'm going to stick some glue down.
So it's got to.
It does. It has to really enjoy it a lot to get through the atmosphere.
Ooh, big word.
Big word.
Savory Banana on Instagram just reminded us that Pluto isn't a planet anymore. Oh, that's right. But that is a cool space fact.
That's a super cool space. Hey, Savory Banana, can you tell us what it is? I think I know.
Oh, you're super smart. What is it?
It's a dwarf planet.
Ooh,
yeah.
Fancy.
All right. So I've glued it together, but to make sure it's extra strong, I'm going to put some sticky tape on it.
Excellent. Good idea. That's what I'm doing here with mine. I've got lots of sticky tape, and I'm just going to wrap it around the 2 joins of the cardboard to make sure they're nice and secure.
Yeah, I think you'll need a lot of sticky tape for that. Oh, we have Tyler from PlayUp. He's watching on Facebook and said he loved our singing. Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks,
we
Tyler.
only learn from the best.
All right. That's pretty good.
Is it nice and strong?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think I could definitely send this to space. All right. Before we add all the fancy bits to our rockets, we are going to decorate the bodies. So rockets have windows so astronauts can see where they're going.
Yep.
And maybe hatches so they can actually get into the rocket.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, so we might draw some of those.
Yeah, let's draw some of those.
I've got some cut up paper here. Just a strip of paper, and I've put some circles. They're my windows, and I'm just going to stick it around the body of my rocket here.
I'm going to use my crayons.
Please do. You have your own.
All right, I'm going to draw a big window for my astronaut. And what else? Some hatches. We'd like to know what else goes on a rocket.
Yeah,
if you could give us some ideas.
So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of my cardboard here, or paper actually, and then stick it around to make some windows.
All right. Yeah. So I'm drawing my astronaut. Are you going to have an astronaut in yours, Jess?
I'll try my very best.
Yeah?
An astronaut in mine. Yeah.
Where would your astronaut go?
My astronaut, I think my astronaut's going to go to the International Space Station, Naomi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Do you know, lots of people, astronauts from different countries live on and work on the International Space Station up in space.
Wow, I bet that's like a really big hotel then. And it's actually as big as a football field.
big as a football field, space hotel. So do the astronauts just lie around the space pool all day having fun?
No, they
No?
work really, really hard. They do experimenting and research, and they're fixing the space station, and they get sent modules from Earth and have to put them all together and work together.
So what's a module?
Oh, it's like part of the space station and things that they use, and it's made here on Earth and sent up in a rocket to them, and they attach it. Wow, so they keep working on it.
All those
Amazing.
astronauts must be pretty smart. They must have like flight engineers and commanders and scientists and maybe some mathematicians to make all those things work up there.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they do so much different work and they all work together and they come from different countries. And did you know that just like we have different languages, different astronauts, well, from different countries have different titles.
Oh yeah.
So we might say astronaut, but in Russia they say cosmonaut.
Cosmonaut is pretty cool.
Isn't that a cool title?
That is very cool. Actually, I found out this week that astronaut, the word astronaut means space sailor.
Huh,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I could say, aye, aye, Captain Jess.
Sure could, Naomi. Sure could.
Oh, Anna, our producer, said, did you two want to be astronauts when you were little? What about you, Jess?
I did.
Yeah?
You know what? I did want to be an astronaut.
Yeah?
I thought it would be fun to go to the moon.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool to jump around and moonwalk where there's less gravity?
Float around in space?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wonder what astronauts eat in space because
Ooh.
I'm always hungry. Do you know?
You are pretty hungry a lot.
Yeah.
I do have some ideas. So they often eat dehydrated food, which is when all the water's taken out from the food, so it's really dry. And then you just add the water back in.
Okay.
And I do that when I go on really long hiking trips and I don't want to carry very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you get your food to taste normal again?
Well, you add hot water.
Okay.
And I've had like regular food like pasta and stir fry and ice cream.
Wow,
pretty good.
That's amazing.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I've heard NASA astronauts even have a pizza party in space.
Wow.
With all the pizzas floating around.
I love pizza.
Yeah.
That would take a lot of teamwork to work that dough to make it taste nice, but have it floating around the space station.
Yeah. Can you imagine the shredded cheese?
Oh, floating around.
Having to find it all in all the nooks and crannies?
Oh, no. No. Well, I've almost finished decorating my rocket here. I've got some windows. I've got a little astronaut here waving hello in my hatch.
Oh.
And do you know what? In these windows here, I've got some lettuce growing.
You do too. Why?
Because, well, I'm about to tell you. It's because astronauts have started to grow their own food in their rockets so that they're preparing for when they go on really long journeys like to Mars.
Wow, that's a really, really long way away.
Really, really long way.
So they would definitely want some fresh food, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what is my astronaut's name? Producer Anna's asking. That's a good question. I might call him Max.
Max!
Just came to me. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, I have done mine too. I've got an astronaut waving hello, and I've got some windows, and I've got a hatch here. It's still sticking down.
Beautiful. I love your astronaut.
Thank you.
Steph on Insta says hello. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
All right, so we've got our tubes, we've got windows, we've got our astronauts.
Yep.
But it doesn't really look like a rocket yet.
I think we need the pointy cone head.
We need a pointy cone head.
Yep.
Right. How are we going to make a pointy cone head?
A lot of words to say. Well, this part is a little bit trickier, so watch along. I'm going to choose a piece of paper. What color am I going to have?
I don't know.
Let's see. I think I'm going to have blue.
Okay.
What are you going to have?
I'm going to go with pink.
Pink?
Yeah.
Okay. So to make our pointy cone head, we're going to need to draw a circle, but it needs to be pretty big.
Okay.
If we want it to be pointy anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So we might want to trace around something that's bigger than our rocket.
Okay.
Maybe if you've got a bowl or a piece of sticky tape.
Could you trace around your rocket but then just make another circle bigger than it?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I might do that.
Yeah.
See if it works.
Okay, well, I'm just going to draw a circle.
Okay.
I'm just going to see if that works.
All right.
Yep.
I'm going to trace around the outside of my rocket. So there we've got my circle.
Yep,
Can you see?
I can.
And then I'm going to draw a circle around the outside of it so that I know that it's definitely bigger than my rocket.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we've just had a message from Valentino, who's 4 years old, and is watching on Instagram and says that they love making rockets.
Yay, awesome. Send us your picture when you're finished.
Yeah. All right, I have just drawn a big circle. It's not perfect, and that's okay.
It's massive, though.
I think it's going to work, Jess.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut it out.
Excellent. We're going to cut around the outside of our circle. And Naomi, what is your wonderful tip for cutting circles?
Oh, well, circles are a little bit trickier to cut, so just turn your paper as you go, and it's a bit easier to get those round, smooth edges.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so there is my circle. And you can still see that the inside of my circle is there from where I traced around my cone. So I know it's definitely bigger.
Look at how big my circle is compared to yours.
Yours is definitely bigger as well.
Mine's kind of like the sun. And yours is as tiny as the Earth.
Or it could be Pluto, the dwarf
planet.
planet.
It could be Pluto. Pluto. I think Pluto would be even smaller.
Probably. All right, now what do we do? Because it still doesn't look like a cone.
No, we've got a few more steps to go. So we are going to draw a straight line just to the middle.
Okay.
Yeah? So we'll do that. I'm going to draw it.
Like this?
Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, well done.
Excellent.
Now we're going to cut along that line, just along that line.
While we're cutting, Lockie on Facebook says the first animal in space was a dog called Lakia. Did I pronounce
Laika?
that? Maybe.
Laika?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Good
that's
job,
a
Naomi.
very, very cool fact, isn't it?
That's pretty cool.
Okay. Now I've got my, see how we've got these little flaps?
It's walking.
It is walking. Maybe it's moonwalking.
Okay.
So we're going to overlap our flaps like this. Oh, and see, it's already starting to make a cone.
It's just like when I made the roof
It
on my house for
is
Earth
just
Hour.
like when you made the roof. Now see how if I overlap mine more and more and more, it's going to get pointier and pointier. Yep.
Yep. How are we going to stick this, Naomi?
We're going to need a lot of sticky tape.
We're going to need a lot of sticky tape. Let's get sticking. It might be a good idea to stick the overlap of the cone first before we start sticking it to our rocket.
Yeah. Otherwise it could unwind. All right. We'll stick that together.
Good job.
Thank you.
I've got another joke for you while we're sticking.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's my last one, so I hope you like it.
Oh, I better get some of my jokes ready.
Okay, what's fast? I can't remember the rest of it.
Can you remember?
What's fast, loud, and crunchy?
Oh, I don't know.
A rocket chip.
Ah, yum.
Yeah, I love chips.
All right, I have a joke for you.
Okay.
How do you know if the moon has had enough to eat?
Ooh, I don't know.
When it's full.
Oh, God. Good one.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right, I am sticking my cone head on by just putting lots of tape all around the edges.
Yep, I'm going from the cone down to the rocket.
Yep.
Yep.
Needs a lot of tape.
Well, it's so that it doesn't burn up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's got to stay on top of our rocket.
Yeah. Ooh. Dune on Facebook says, actually the first animals in space were fruit flies.
Wow.
Did they send them with an apple?
That's really interesting. Hey, I have another joke.
Yeah.
What is the fruitiest subject at school?
I don't know.
History, because it's full of dates. I think Tyler would like my punny joke.
I think we need to get better on the jokes, to be honest. All right, I think I've got enough sticky tape to exit the atmosphere or enter.
Me too.
Which one? I don't know. Okay. Still doesn't look like a rocket.
No, we need something else, don't we? We need the fins.
Yes, to help direct it through space to get to the space station.
Yeah.
So how are you going to make your fins?
I'm going to use paper. And fins can actually be different shapes depending on the rocket.
Yes.
And some rockets have different amount of fins too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to make triangle fins today.
Okay.
With 3 sides.
That's good. I'm glad you can count. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
make rectangle fins.
With 4 sides.
With 4 sides. Fantastic. 2 are longer than the other. All right, I'm going to make mine out of pink so that it matches my pretty cone at the top.
Yep. Very nice.
I'm just going to cut lots and lots of rectangles and see how many I need on my spaceship.
And we're going to cut them first, and then we're going to show you how to attach them.
Yeah. So let's just cut first.
Yes. Awesome.
Oh, while I'm busy counting, I was thinking, Naomi, we've talked a lot about food and astronauts eating food. How do astronauts go to the toilet when everything floats in space?
Oh, I bet a lot of people want to know the answer to that one.
Yeah. Does anyone have any ideas at home? How do you think astronauts go to the toilet? I'm not sure if I should be actually asking you guys this. Be polite. How do astronauts go to the toilet in space when everything floats?
Yes, please send us your information. Yep. Okay, I'm going to cut my shape out.
They could just hold it for years and years.
That wouldn't be very comfortable.
No.
I don't think. You know, astronauts are up there for years and years, so they're in isolation for a really long time. They don't see many other people, and they have to prepare for these really big, long trips. So they actually spend time completely alone. They don't get to see their family or friends for a while because they have to, before they go into space, they have to make sure they don't have any germs or viruses.
That's true.
That's what we're doing now.
They isolate down here on Earth to make sure they don't take any germs with them to the space station. And then even up there, they're kind of isolated from all their families and friends back on Earth.
Yeah, so they actually have some really good tips on what we can do. And how to keep ourselves busy.
What?
Well, some of them have suggested that we do things that we don't normally have time for, like read books, do our favorite crafts, or learn some new hobbies.
Oh, I'd love to learn how to play a musical instrument.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I reckon I could really brush up on my Japanese.
Totally.
Yeah. And they also said, think about why it's so important that we do these things. Like now we're staying home to make sure we don't make other people sick and they don't make us sick.
That's true. And it's important to be exercising too while we're isolated. So whether that's in the lounge room or
go
if you
for
can
a
go
walk.
for a walk.
Tyler and Rose suggested going for a walk last week.
They did.
And the NASA astronauts agree with them and said it's really good for your health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
How cool is that?
Do you know, there's lots more tips on our website. We've got our adults guide, which has got all the links to the NASA webpage, and you can find out more about what astronauts do before going into space and their tips for isolation.
Yeah, good thinking.
Oh, Eva and Lucinda on Insta love the rockets. Awesome. I hope you're making some along at home.
Yeah, and remember, send us your pictures. We'd love to see them, and you might even see them next week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
How is your fins going?
I've got 2 big ones.
Ooh.
And I've got one little one with a secret door on it.
Oh, that's clever.
I don't know where it goes, but it's on there.
Well, you are being quite inventive at the moment using your space technology.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Should we attach them?
Yes.
So, can you see what I've done here? I have made a fold in my fin. This is going to make it easier to attach.
Absolutely.
So, would you like to put a fold in your rectangle?
Yes. I would like mine to stick this way. So I'm going to put a fold along the long part. So it's just folding a tiny little bit over. I don't know the best way to show you. Is that pretty okay? My producer Anna, can you see my fold? Yeah, kind of. You get the picture. Fold a little bit over. And then we're going to put glue.
Yep. Glue
and sticky tape.
And sticky tape. If you've just got one or the other, it's still going to hold.
Yeah.
We just like to do our craft quickly on here.
Yeah, and make sure it's stable.
Hey, talking about quickly, on Instagram we have a suggestion in response to our toilet question. So how do astronauts use the toilet in space when everything floats?
Yes, how?
So one person has suggested that they close the lid really quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't want to try that one.
Oh, let's see if we get any more answers to that question. Okay, I'm going to put some glue on this edge here.
Just the little edge.
Yep, just the little edge. So I've put some glue on and I'm going to stick it. I'm going to have a fin on this side here. So I'm sticking it down and I'm going to use some sticky tape to make it extra strong.
So I've stuck mine a little bit. It's got some glue, and then on this side I've put a little bit of sticky tape as well, just to hold it on. I might even put some on the other side of the wing as well.
And we will have close-ups of our crafting on the website. So if you can't quite see what's happening now, you'll be able to see it on the website later on.
Okay, so a little fold for our glue and then sticky tape it on. We want to make sure these rockets actually get to where they want to go.
Yeah. So I'm making my second fin. I'm making my second fin.
Excellent.
This one's green. Oh, we have Rebecca on Facebook who says that astronauts go to the loo into a vacuum cleaner. You know what, Rebecca? I think you're right. That's what I read too.
Not a real vacuum cleaner though, I hope.
That might be a bit uncomfortable. I think the toilet kind of works like a vacuum cleaner, so it sucks it up really quickly before all the gross stuff can go anywhere.
Excellent. Good idea.
So that's some pretty spectacular technology.
It is amazing technology. You know, we need so much of this technology just to make it possible to get humans into space.
Yeah.
And living in space and then back down to Earth safely from space.
Yeah, that's amazing. And there's actually all these benefits from the technology that they've developed that help us every day here on Earth too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like satellites in space help us every day.
Yeah, like watching TV or watching On Air PlayUp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or when we're in isolation and we can't see all of our family and friends, we can call them on the computer or to see their faces.
Yeah.
On the phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else? I use maps all the time on my phone to figure out where I'm going. That uses a satellite as well.
Yep. I love to check the weather every morning to know what to wear and if I need to water my garden. So satellites, we find out about the weather through the satellites.
I like to go running and always have to check, you know, that it's not going to rain or something.
Are you going to carry an umbrella while you run?
Maybe that would make my arms really strong.
It would. Would also be very funny. I'd love to see it. How are you going there?
I'm pretty good. I now have 3 fins.
That's
1,
excellent.
2, 3.
I didn't plan mine very well in terms of my windows.
That's all right.
So it hopefully will fly. I've got a little one here and 2 big ones. I'm sure it'll get to space. Absolutely. All right.
All right. Okay. So what are we missing?
Well, blast off. We need some fire.
We sure do.
Yes. So we're going to put some fire down the bottom of our rocket so that it's zooming off to space.
Yeah.
I'm going to use just paper. So I've got some red and orange and yellow paper here. I'm just going to cut some strips and then I'm going to show you how to stick them on later.
Yeah. I'm going to use some tissue paper and some crepe paper. I've got cellophane. You might have something left over from like gift wrapping.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to use. And now I could cut this into big long strips or little strips. And I might even just do some tearing today.
If you don't have coloured paper at home, you could colour some plain paper with your crayons or textures and then do what I'm doing, cut out the paper. Just nice, big, long strips like that.
Very cool.
Make a nice big pile of them. I'm going to go red next because there's a lot of red in fire.
Yeah. Oh, I've got lots of yellow. I think I better move on to red as well. Okay, we have been asked on Facebook whether we're going to show people how to make the helmets we were wearing earlier this morning. I think we could probably find out a way to do that, couldn't we?
We could, but you know what? It's super easy. We just got a cardboard box and cut a hole in the front and then stuck some decorations on.
So if you have some cardboard boxes lying around or even some cardboard, you can just use the box or make a box.
Or maybe if you ask your parents first, if you've got a helmet for riding a bike or a scooter, you could decorate that to make a space helmet.
And I put foil on mine because I felt like that was a bit spacey.
Yeah.
But Jess's was white.
Was white.
Yeah, astronauts usually wear white.
Yep. You could make it anything you like, really.
Yeah. Maybe you could make something that you could call command.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like a radio.
Like a radio.
Yeah. Good job. All right, I have got lots of different coloured strips here. They're not perfect, they're just different sizes, but that's all good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end of it and then stick it to the inside of my tube. So I'm going to stick it inside like that. I'm going to do one and then I can show you. So just on the last little bit, you don't want too much glue, although probably going to get glue everywhere. So a little bit of glue, and then I'm just going to stick it down on the inside of my tube, like that. And I'm going to put lots of different colours. I might go red next.
Yeah.
And then yellow, maybe make a pattern
Ooh.
as I go around my tube.
Well, I'm going to gather up all my bits of, well, I've got lots of various paper. Oh, so I've got, just getting a bit more red. And then I'm actually going to do mine a little bit differently to Jess. So I'm going to put them all together like this. So I've got lots of different textured paper. I've got some see-through paper. Lots of colours. I think it looks pretty fiery.
It does.
Yeah. So this time I am going to bundle mine all up together at the top and hold it together with some sticky tape.
Oh, love our sticky tape this week.
So I'm going to get some sticky tape and just kind of wrap it around the top. Doesn't need to be neat because I'm going to put this into the body of my rocket. Oh, like this. All right, look at that.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to, how's yours going?
Well, my fingers are very sticky, but I'm getting some good fire happening here. I'm just going to go around. I've got a few extra pieces. So I'm just keep putting my finger up and squish it in. Yep.
Cool. All right, I'm going to stick this in. Now, while we're going, Jess, where would you go if you could go anywhere in space?
Oh, that's a good question. I would love to go to the moon.
Oh, yeah?
I think it would be amazing. Where would you like to go?
I think I'd go to Saturn.
Saturn.
It's pretty cold.
Yes.
I think I wouldn't like the cold very much.
No, you don't like the cold.
I don't like the cold. But it has these icy rings around it, and I think they look pretty amazing. So it would be very cool to see it. But it's really, really far away. So no one's ever been there. I think it would be pretty hard.
Do you know what? It would be very hard to get there. But if we worked together, if we were like astronauts and we cooperated and shared our knowledge and our technology, we could build the perfect rocket to get to Saturn.
Oh.
Hopefully we get there before we turn 100.
I hope so. We better get working on that pretty soon. Maybe.
What are you saying?
Nothing. I am sticking my fire inside my rocket. So I've put the bundle on the inside and I'm just sticking it in with sticky tape.
Beautiful. And I have got all of my pieces of paper. They're stuck around the inside. It is ready to go to the space station.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can
astronaut.
go meet the astronauts. You know what?
Yeah.
Something else that I learned this week that I think is really cool
What
about
did
the
you learn?
technology we get from space exploration.
Yeah.
Well, they even help farmers.
How
So
do
they help
farmers?
all sorts of other people do their everyday jobs as well.
How?
Well, the satellites show them where they need to use water. So it helps them grow their crops, and they can save water, use less water, and they can even drive the trucks from space.
Wow.
So there's no one in the truck.
In the tractor?
Tractor.
Yeah.
I bet they have trucks as well.
They probably have.
But yes, in the tractor.
We've been to a farm many a time, and you know
Hey,
all about it.
hey, I did live on a farm for a good amount of my life.
Oh, good on you.
Yeah.
Never drove trucks though, did you?
No, clearly.
All right, you finished?
Yep. How's it look?
We both finished our craft today.
Wow.
I know, it's pretty amazing.
That I did it on time.
I love your fire coming out there.
Thank you
Very
very
good.
much.
And your little spaceman, astronaut.
Astronaut?
Or
Could
is it
be
a
a-
cosmonaut?
It could be a cosmonaut and it could be a woman.
Could be, because cosmonauts can be women as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aye, aye, Commander Jess.
Thank you.
So, is it time to blast off?
I think it might be time to blast off, PlayUppers. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And you can keep crafting along at home if you haven't finished, but don't forget to help pack up when you're all done.
Yeah, and remember, resources are on our website and it's got all the steps on how to make your rocket and maybe make some other things for the week of International Human Spaceflight.
Now, we'd love to see your pictures of your rocket, so please send them to us on Instagram or Facebook, and you might even see them here next week.
Yeah.
You know.
That's right.
Next week, On Air PlayUp will be celebrating, let me see if I can remember September, World Creativity and Innovation Day.
Ooh, it's going to be fun.
It will
Good
be
work.
fun.
And remember, we want to go on adventures, so let us know where you want to go. And if you are enjoying On Air PlayUp, please tell your friends about it. We can say hello to them too, and maybe you could share your creations with each other.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
All right, remember to share your smile to make someone's day. Ready to go?
Ready to go. Counting down.
10.
5.
Oh, 5.
Yeah, 5.
4.
3.
2.
1.
Blast